All right. Well, thanks for coming. This is actually for my Ashland class that I'm taking right now, and it's an actual professional development course that I'm taking. So this is kind of why I did how I'm doing it right now. As I talked to some of you, I sent you the pre-test, and everybody has taken it so far, except for Dan, which I will send it to you. Thing. So the Carv is what we're going to be doing today. All right, go ahead and can I hit this? Yep. All right. So there's the pre-test link that all of you have already taken. All right. So here's an introduction to the Carv. What is the Carv? It's a CNC router. CNC, as you know, stands for computer numerically controlled, and all we have is an X and Y axis, and then we can adjust the depth of the cut through the Carv program. The tools that you'll be using when we get up into the Carv is the various spiral cutting bits. There's 2 wrenches, some clamps, some wedge blocks, and some T-handles, screws, which are color coded, and you'll see that in the next slide. Here's the materials that we can do. So on the pre-test, the one that we cannot do is steel. Good job, Mike. So wood, plywood, MDF. Okay. So these are the different plastics and MDF that we can use. 1/4 inch up to 3/8 or 3/4 inch thick. And then we have some multicolored also. So we were fortunate we got some materials when we bought the Carv that came with it. So those are ones that we can use up there. We're limited to this size right here. This is as big that we can go. Okay, and then there's different colors. There's blue and white. There's the golden, or the yellow and white, black, and there's different colors up there. So when we get upstairs, you'll actually see them. So those are the materials that we can use on the Carv. All right. Here's the T-nuts I was talking about. You can see they're color coded. The green ones are the shorter, the blue are the longer, the 2 wrenches, the clamping blocks, and that's how you secure your material to the actual workspace. Okay, and then you got your bits over here of the different sizes. So when we get into the program here in a couple minutes, you'll see the different diameter bits. There's the next slide. But here's your materials that I was talking about, the 6x6 and then 8x11 pieces here. And there's also some wood for making cutting boards. There's an inlay, which you can see there, so you can do inlay in a piece of wood. Okay, so the software you're going to be using up there is Easel, and the company is Inventables. When we do the names and stuff, there's 15 different styles of text that you can put on there, and then you can adjust the depth, whether you do an outline like this up here, or you do a fill. So you can, based on the diameter of the bits that you're going to be using, will determine how big your letters are, how wide, how tall, and all that is all done in the Easel's program. And we're going to go through that here in a few minutes. So there's the different diameter spiral bits. You have a 1/32, a 16, and a 1/8 inch diameter. 3 of them are upcutting, and then one of the 1/8 inch diameter bits is a straight cut. Okay? Your 2 wrenches, your clamps, your wedge blocks, and your T-handles as you saw on the previous screen. Okay, so there's, when we get on here in the next, I think it's the next slide, you're going to go to the Inventables, you're going to do the Easel, and then we're going to go through, and everybody's going to create their own file. Okay, so when we go upstairs, you'll just go right to Easel, and you'll sign in again, and your project that you designed today will be there. So you may want to eventually get at a computer. Okay, here's just some of the basic safety things that you need to pay attention to when you lift up the cover. You know, keep your pinch points. Make sure you secure your material securely. Remove all wrenches, and then, of course, pay attention what you're doing. Don't leave it unattended in case something happens. You can hit the safety shutoff, which we found out during training that the tool went right through the clamp. Okay, the clamps are plastic, but the clamping blocks, those little silver things, are metal. All right, so here's what you're going to do. Go ahead and get in a computer, log into your computer under your StrongNet username and your password. PVC, I think, is what the actual, yeah. When you click on it, the material will open up on the preview box over here on the right-hand side. Okay, so based on the Carv's work here, X is your horizontal, Y is your vertical, and then Z is your thickness of your material. Okay? If you're not sure what it is, just leave it at 8 by 11. When we get upstairs, we'll actually get the actual measurement of your material, and we'll fix that. So for right now, you're either going to use the 6 by 6 or the 8 by
12, I got 12 on
yeah.
mine.
Yeah, it's like 11.875 is the actual width of it, and it's 7.875, 7/7/8 and 11 7/8. Okay, so pick your material size, then click select a bit, and again the 4 bits will open, 1/16 or 1/32, 1/16, and then the 2 1/8. Based on what you're going to try to do today, you may change that bit later. Okay? And you'll see when you start typing in or putting in your text what it's going to actually look like over here, whether you have fill or outline inside, outline outside, or outline on path, which we'll talk about next. Okay, the cut settings, which is the far right, just leave it as recommended. You don't need to change that. When you click on it, a little box will open up and say custom, recommended or custom, just leave that. Okay? We don't have to mess with that. Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay. So now, come over to machine, click on machine, and select Carv. All right? I think X Carv shows up, and just click on Carv.
Where's the machine at?
Up here in the toolbar,
Toolbar.
right next to edit.
Yep.
And just click on Carv. Now for this particular demonstration, we're just going to talk about text. So click on the key, and you see 15 different styles of text open up. You can pick one just by scrolling down, and then it'll appear once you select it down in the lower left-hand corner. It appears as text in a box. Okay? So now you can click on it and drag it up to wherever you want. You can click on the little triangles, stretch it out, and then you can type in whatever you want. Type in your name, type in your room number, whatever. So you're designing your own project now.
How do you get rid of what's on there?
Okay, that's the next, so you click at the end of the text. Yep. Just click inside, go on the other side, and then backspace, and type in whatever you want.
Something like this.
Yep. Click on the box, and click If you want to remove something, just click on the box, hit.
Can you change the text size to 10?
Well, yep, we're going to get there. So yeah, and you click on that, move, grab right here, pull it over just a little bit. Okay, that's good. Now go to shape here. See the width and the height of your, so you can change that. Or you can just stretch it out by clicking on that. Okay. So once you get it where you want or close to where you want, grip on that little thing right there and pull it over. That'll get it. There you go. Okay. And one thing you can't have your text or anything close to this pink. That's the smart clamp. Right? We want to stay a pretty good distance away from there. I mean, like ½ inch or something like that. We don't want to cut into that smart clamp.
Is there a way to get this cut shape off?
Yes. Trip right here. Pull it over.
How do you do
Yep.
that? Okay, let's go back.
Just grip it right there on those 3 dots and pull it over.
Oh,
There you go.
perfect. Thank you.
And you can make it, yeah, watch. If you click on this right here, that'll drop down too.
There's a line at 8 on my y-axis. Am I allowed to go above that, or how do I know which side?
No, that's it. Grip right here, just click on that, just bring it over.
Oh, yes, that one.
And then if you click right here, it drops it down, right where this quick, right there, up, right there, quick, click. Yep, it drops it down, sorry.
So I gotta stay in this one, then why is
It's-
this over here? Is that too wide?
No, this is, the dotted line is your measurement here.
So I want to reduce that, this.
Yeah, if you go up here, the backspace, make it 11, there you go, hit enter, hit enter.
Just this.
Yep, there you go.
Is there a, if you're trying to put an image in there, is there a certain format that has to be?
Yeah, we have to change them to SVG, yeah, SVG. There's only a certain number of images in the actual, and I can show you that here in a minute, but there's not going to be a Air Force, no, not right, in a couple weeks we will. But if you click on icons, there's a bunch of images you can.
So you have to load the images into the software?
Yes.
You can't
Yeah.
just pull into a program here with the design? Okay.
Yes. We'll do that on Corel, right?
You could import a JPEG and it'll convert. It doesn't do the best of job
Yeah.
though with easel.
So once you get things where you want them, you can click on shape in the little toolbar right here, shape. And then, excuse me, cut, sorry.
Here's our
Fill or outline. When you click on the little tab that says cut, at the very bottom, it says fill and outline. So if you fill it, click on outline, and then you can do inside, outside, or on path. And then it shows up on in your preview window what it looks like.
Then we change the font size.
All right.
I want that big, but the other writing small.
That's one thing I found out. If you do text in separate boxes, instead of doing one big text box, then you can adjust each box, but otherwise, whatever's inside the box.
That's, I did something.
Okay, so you want to change, click on it, so the box comes around it.
That one's good.
Okay,
I want to write small on it.
all right, then do another text box. Another text box, click on that.
This one?
Yep. And click on what? All right,
Yep.
if you know.
How do you make the size different? You stretch it,
Click
you
on it.
stretch it that way.
All right, or you
Yeah.
click over here. This little shape. And there's your different widths and heights. So you can change it by typing in a number, click on like 3, backspace it, or just make it 2 inches, or, so you can make your text whatever size you want in the little box when you click on the shape. Make your text whatever size you want. You make it, if your board is 11, you wanted it to take
To
up,
bring in
you know, all but a half inch, and you type in
it's
10
like
and a
you
half.
said, it takes
And then you can either use the little boxes to click on it, raise it up and down, squeeze it in and out.
But it doesn't
When you have your
quite
text
the whole
box
thing.
highlighted, if you click on shape, at the very bottom, there's an arrow. You can click on the font and it'll change inside your box. So you can see the different fonts, what they look like. Click on Sophie. Over to shape, and then click on that. And then you can pick one of those and it'll change, and then you can just keep going through where you don't have to select the text, and then, oh, I don't like that one, delete it. You can do it inside your box now.
You guys had the affiliate, right? It's an affiliate course. Yeah, it's, you can download it off the internet.
Yeah, so you gotta go to, if you do a bigger bit on this, it'll probably take less. But then you would have to remove the other stuff, and you're gonna switch bits. Or unless you do all of it with the same bit. If you just yeah, I think you got. Did you put
Oh, yeah, right here.
another
Operating system.
line underneath there when you
7, 8, or
first?
10, 30.
Yeah, I think you did.
34, 64.
So now it should just be a single. Yeah, there you go.
Is it doing the slicing and generating?
Pretty easy, just click and drag,
Well, it doesn't
stretch,
generate G-code. It
up and
slices
down,
it,
out and
and then it'll send it over.
Um,
It'll automatically print what you do there. There is no G-code.
if you want to make this larger, just click on it,
Now it is Wi-Fi.
and your mouse,
So you can hook it up to the Wi-Fi.
and then you click on it, drag it down.
The computer's on Wi-Fi. You can print it to that.
So Ted, what did I do? Because I don't have that pink little corner.
What?
I see it, like Danny has a pink little corner and that does, what did he do with that in elementary school? Is that pink corner?
Did you click on machine up here? Carv. There you go, Carving. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And since these machines or computers aren't hooked up to the Carvey, you won't be able to go through and pick everything for the Carvey to do until we get upstairs. So again, you can go to your, any,
Do you suggest naming it? I see that, that's a
There's
reason.
new kids that they have.
yeah, you can give it a name. Anytime when you open it up, it'll always show you what you've been working on. So if you have 4 different projects in there, it'll show you at the bottom. See, if you click, see right here, so when you open up,
okay.
and
I didn't notice that.
if you click on this right here, it'll drop down and it disappears, so now you have a bigger screen. Yep.
That's cool.
So if you went back to your room and wanted to play with it some more, you just log back onto Inventables, or easel, and when you open it up, this will show right back up. So it's pretty user-friendly. So just remember, you got your depth of cut, so if you're doing two color material, you only want to go in halfway or just maybe a little under halfway to expose the color underneath. Just remember, your thickness, you don't want to go deeper than your thickness. We don't want to cut anything out right now. Isn't it? And then if you hit simulate in the bottom right, it'll show you how the Carvey's going to go and attack your design, and it'll tell you about how long it's going to take.
What we'll do is we watch.
How do you get the text box to show up?
Like we did
I know
with
you hit
this
text up
finish.
top,
Once
you get a
it's
new
done,
one,
and it-
but I want to
seems
adjust
straight
this.
Then we just.
Click out of it and click back on it.
Got this real thin two-sided tape to get the slight print.
See, she's doing the same message.
Piece of that would be bad.
Right.
But I'm not sure.
If you just roll it up and if you grip on it with your mouse and drag it down, it'll take your, from an angle and it'll straighten it up. So just click on this and drag it down. You can rotate it. So again, if you change your bit type to a smaller bit, your outlines will be different. Your fill will not change, but your outlines will be different based on the diameter of the bit that you select. This I think is a 1/4 inch.
So you would want to go about an 1/8 inch.
Yeah. Yeah, you just want to cut through the top layer. The top layer is pretty thin, probably only about a 64th of an inch thick. And just remember, the more design, the more detail, the longer it's going to take when you're up in Carvey.
Molly, did it say how long yours is going to take?
Yeah, 48 minutes, but mine's still 2 seconds.
That's what mine's saying too. I don't know if it's on the
Yeah, mine is too.
SPS.
What bit is this?
I think what's
Click
the
on
name of the other board?
that.
All right.
I didn't take a look at any of these.
Yeah, you're going,
Probably too deep.
yeah, there you go.
I'm sure we should do that.
Yep. Since that's a those bigger letters, you could probably go deeper than that there. Half-inch thick material. Like on this.
Did you say that?
What's that?
You said.
Right here, Z.
Oh, there.
That's your
I
X.
didn't understand.
So here's your X, here's your Y, and then your thickness is Z. Just remember, X is horizontal, Y is vertical.
Yeah.
Like that, is there an easy way to